Hey, maybe you're in a situation as a real estate agent where you're working on a deal. You've had this happen before and you're a few grand apart, right? Like your buyer wants to pay 550 and the seller only wants to accept 555, right? You're 5 grand apart. How are we going to make that happen? Whether that's initially when you're making the offer, trying to negotiate it right up front, or maybe it's halfway through the deal, right? The air conditioner's broken or something and you're at a stalemate over like $5,000 or $3,000 or whatever it is. So you're tempted to give away some of your commission. So today I'm going to talk about how to avoid the commissionectomy and the times when maybe a commissionectomy actually does make some sense, unfortunately. So, hey, I'm John Gletch. I'm the team leader of the Gletch Group in San Diego and Phoenix. We've got teams in both cities. And we sell like hundreds of houses a year. I've sold thousands in my career. And so I've seen this happen and I want to talk about it. It's a mindset, really is where this starts. Like a lot of agents who come on the team, like they pay for their team splits the first deal because they're so used to giving away commission that it's like a reflex. You know, it's like the dog that's been beaten that comes into the new household and is like flinching all the time. It's like, no, you don't have to flinch here. Like we got a better plan, you know? So oftentimes this is as simple as a mindset of like, we just don't, on our team, we just like years ago decided this wasn't what we were going to do. Like our commission wasn't on the table as a negotiating block, right? Are there exceptions? Sure. I'll get to those, but start with that mindset of like, no, well, I guess the deal's dead. I guess we're done, right? Like putting my commission in the deal isn't an option. So if you start with that mindset, that's super helpful. But let me tell you, if you're a few grand apart, a couple of tips of where you can find that money. So we do it in this order. We always think about it this way, right? So can we get some money from the title company, right? Sometimes title companies will be willing to give like an investor rate, like we'll discount the rate, especially if you have a good relationship with your title company, you know, or maybe they have some kind of special discounted rate they'll provide. You got to check with them on their rules and all that stuff, but maybe they can give a little bit of a discount. Let's check with a title company. Second, the lender's going to make some money on this. Can we get the lender to pitch in a credit or whatever? Everyone kind of blames all the rules and RESPA and whatever. But I'm telling you, there's ways to do this. Sometimes they're just leaning on that as an excuse, and that's not really a problem. Of course, you also want to work with the buyer and the seller, right? Oftentimes, they're not really going to let a deal die over a couple grand, right? Like they're talking big, but at the end of the day, do they really want to start over? You know, do they really want to go back to the drawing board? So we want to work on the buyer and the seller. Then the next place to start to work on is the other agent, right? Whatever side you're on, what's the other agent going to do? Like, sure, we want to protect our nest egg, our hard-won money, but the other agent is going to make a commission on this too, and maybe they can chip in. And then the last pocket we want to dig into is our own. And once you've oftentimes gone to those other sources, we just don't, it's done. Like the problem is solved. Like we've got to the 5,000, but let's say we're still a little ways apart. Now you're going to make a decision on risk, reward, effort, energy, right? If you've been showing these buyers houses for a year, they've looked at 58 houses and this is the only one that's going to work for them. You know, maybe you make it work, but then I would contend like, why can't they come up with the 5 grand? Sometimes there's a real reason, right? I get it. But like, you just make a decision, game time decision on like, is this worth the energy of going to start over for $500 or whatever it is? But here's the thing. Oftentimes we start with that question instead of ending with that question, right? Like you want to have exhausted all other opportunities, all other options before you get to that. Cause I think that's where a lot of agents start is like, well, I don't want to start over. I'd rather make whatever, 7 grand than instead of the 8 grand I should have made rather than start over or make 0. So they just start with that mindset. It's a right mindset. It just needs to be at the very end of the decision-making train, right? So like we have a circumstance now, the market happens to be hot. I think one possible opportunity, if you're trying to make offers on a property, you could potentially offer some of your commission to the listing agent. Like, hey, listen, if we get this deal done, there's an extra half point in it for you. That's a powerful offer if it's the right thing, right? You're up against 20 other offers. Again, it's a really unique property. Your buyers there's nothing else they want. You're trying to like get the thing to work. I think sometimes throwing money at the other agent could make a lot of sense because now they've got some extra, let's be honest, we're all human beings. They got a little extra skin in the game to go like, hey, let me make sure the seller, I'm going to pay real close attention to this offer, make sure the seller knows all the benefits of this offer. Of course, the seller's going to choose. We have a fiduciary, but it doesn't hurt that this extra whatever, 5 grand is coming my way. And if it was a big enough deal and a unique enough circumstances, that's the kind of thing I think would be smart use of a little extra commissionectomy to make that thing work. Maybe the listing agent took a real discounted fee and they're going to be super happy with the extra money. So there are circumstances where this works, but don't let it be the place you start. And I can tell you from experience, this has saved my agents tens of thousands of dollars a year. It really, really does add up. So pay attention to this. Hope it helps, and go out there and earn those commissions that you deserve. Have a good day.